All right, the home openers for the three co-host nations at this World Cup. Mexico, South Africa in Mexico City. I saw the first game of the 2010 World Cup live in Johannesburg, and it was South Africa and Mexico. And I sat right next to the Mexican support, and there's this one guy, he didn't leave his feet the entire game, and I swear he smoked 2 packets of cigarettes. He was so stressed. He was like the most nervous man in the world. Amazing. Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina, the U.S. after that. Let's talk the co-host nations. I just wanted to story time with Uncle Gareth.
I can see that.
A lot of expectations around all three of these host nations. Maybe a little bit less in this country, just because we haven't had a World Cup win before.
Yep.
So, but still, I think people are expecting a new Canada. And relatively recently, I think a lot of people thought that Canada was the best team in this region. Perhaps that's not the case anymore with form and injury. But here's how Canada, let's look at these teams in terms of who's the top side in CONCACAF right now and who is likely to have the best World Cup. So based upon their squad and most recent performances, John, which team would you situate atop the pile of the three co-host nations?
Hands down, my pick for this region and my pick to go pretty far in this tournament is Mexico.
Okay.
We talked about this before, I believe, on match night earlier on in the year. I love what Mexico's doing. Let's talk about the start of this year. Make sure I get it right. And the history of Mexico in the World Cup, the 2 times they've hosted, they made it to the quarterfinals. So for me, I like Mexico.
Can I bring up something as well? I mean, we all go on Instagram here and there. We all have our things that we look up. You see everyone hurting about the Heat? England.
Know who's not?
So you want to know who's embracing that?
Yeah.
Mexico. So the fact that they're going to host as well, it's going to be hot, and they're going to be playing at high tempo. They're already a team, as you mentioned, John, that are solidified, that are working together well as a unit. And unbeaten in 8 is probably the only thing I have to add to like what you
Unbelievable.
said. Like this Mexican team, for me, at the top, then we got to bring it back. Because people always want to talk about, who's been good lately. Mexico in Nations League cleaned up. They dealt with Canada neatly in the semifinals, right? It was heartbreak. It still hurt, that Jimenez strike. You think about that free kick, right? And went on to beat Panama as well in the finals. Like, there's still, for me, top dog.
We also talked about Mexico being washed up maybe like two and a half years ago, of saying like, they're in a different phase. They're not going to.
They kicked it into gear.
I mean, look at these. Again, you brought up a huge point. Every time we've gone down to Mexico, or at least I've gone down to Mexico, and it's been warm. These guys, technically, they love it when it's hot. They're just going to pass it around. The Olays are going to start. And you know what? They're going to take the steam out of games, and they're going to end up going like this, turn it on, and technically they can do it. They'll pass it around, they'll keep it, and then boom, they'll strike.
Got a good back
and
four,
there you go.
Combative midfield. Jimenez has had a good year.
Yep.
This team looks to be a little bit of a problem. Just they were so bad last World Cup, and they were so bad coming out of it. I give the Federation a lot of credit bringing in Javier Aguirre.
Yep.
He's pragmatic. They played ugly at times, but now he's got them playing the way everyone on the same page at the right time. Can't the argument be made, John, that the U.S. are a more talented side than Mexico? Pochettino's the manager. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of support as well. Like, Americans love supporting their own, and they're right behind this team.
They are, and I just don't know what to think of this group, because I really want them to be what everybody thinks they are and what they want to be and what we expect for them based on the quality that they have. And I just haven't seen it as often as I would like from under Pochettino. Now, it's a home World Cup. These guys are going to be fired up, playing at home, playing in LA to start this thing off against Paraguay. I mean, listen, if they get their things going and they're able to get on the attack and be aggressive, I think they're going to be dangerous. But again, we're hoping that they can get it done. And they got 3 tough problems. They got Paraguay, they got Australia, and they got Turkey. So again,
each
team gives you a different
group, but the U.S. at home that should be a group. I mean, I really like Turkey. Like, I think they're a really good team. Australia regularly punch over their weight at World Cups, and Paraguay, although losing to Siso last night, which is a loss, are just probably maybe the worst team in the group, but they're still going to be a difficult out. I just like McKennie, Adams. Like, Pulisic has been billed for years as like the American. It's not the case. I'm not calling Pulisic a fraud, but he's nowhere near that. But Chris
player.
Richards is hurt.
Yeah.
Like
he's a staple.
He was like no Bombito for Canada, no Chris Richards for the U.S.
Yeah,
like they're really good at fullback. There's a lot of what I'm trying to say here. There's a lot of talent there, and there's a lot of ways that this could go right, but there's a lot of ways this could go wrong as well.
Well, can I point out two things that I want to say when it comes to the U.S.? The first one being pressure.
Yep.
And we've seen that as well in recent tournaments. Pressure from people in that country, pressure from their media. Not like us. We're very nice. We question about, Jay David should play a certain spot, but we wait and see and we say we're hopeful. We're like, they're not like that over there. They want results. They think that they should be at the top, winning World Cups. Like this is stuff they say. It's not me making it up. This is stuff that Americans and their media truly believe. So there's pressure, and another thing that has to go with the pressure is inconsistency with performance. And that's even with your boy Mopo. It's not really your boy, but you kind of coined the phrase Mopo. You always say Mopo. So I'm going to call him your boy. But even with him coming in, you thought he was going to steady the ship a bit. Been even more inconsistent.
It's been very inconsistent.
I mean, when you look at that going into the World Cup, I don't know how people can feel so confident about the U.S. even though they're on
and they haven't named the goalkeeper either, which is crazy. Crazy.
Johnny?
And I don't want to discuss that anymore.
No.
Please.
No more
what about pathways?
talk.
Like Mexico's got a winnable group. I think South Korea is pretty good. Maybe can challenge them. I mean, that's a weak group. Canada's group, historically weak by World Cup standards. This is a 48-team World Cup, and we documented Group D for the United States as well. Their pathways coming out of the group are compelling as well. First and second in Group B is advantageous. Same thing for Group A. Group D maybe can provide life elsewhere in the draw, depending on who comes out and where. It's not as linear because we don't know, like a 32-team World Cup where those knockout round spots are spoken for. You kind of know the types of teams that you might play. There's more variance here.
I think the one thing we didn't talk about is, the travel. Canada's travel gets crazy once they get through into the knockout stages. If they have to go back and forth.
If they don't win.
If they don't win. U.S. easy. It's West Coast for the most part, and then they gradually make their way across. Mexico is just going to hang out in Mexico for as long as they possibly can until they got to move up to the U.S. And I think that's a value as you progress in this thing.
Yeah. What's a good tournament for all three teams? Mexico notoriously got out of the group 7 times in a row.
Yep.
Last World Cup, that streak came to an end. I mean, I think the reasonable expectation has to be all 3 of these teams get out of the group.
Yeah.
This is a home World Cup. It's a 48-team World Cup. Being a number 1 seed benefited all 3 countries by getting a softer draw. And in World Cup history, only South Africa and Qatar are the only nations not to get out of their group. So it's that plus... or ... where does that lead? What is a successful World Cup for these nations?
I think one of these 3 teams has to be in the final.
In the what?
In the final.
You said it.
This World Cup?
You think I'm crazy to say it?
I like that.
They're hosting this thing. I think there's so much in for being the host at home that if you can do it right and you can get it done on home soil, as big of a tournament that is, I think they have to be. And again,
what would that take for one of these teams? Like
6
I'm
games?
telling you, it's Mexico. Guys,
you feel it.
I think Mexico is going to not surprise. Would it be a surprise? No, I like them. I think they're going to make a run. I think Mexico's making a run.
I think if you're looking at the U.S., like, respectfully, if you're going to round of 16, I'm looking at them as that's great. For Canada, if they could do that, I already said I'd get a tattoo, and I don't even believe in getting a tattoo. If they can make round of 16, that's fantastic. But round of 32,
again, there's a lot of
round of 16 in Mexico is not going to be good enough.
Nope.
Round of 16 in Mexico will not be seen as good enough.
Correct.
I think both teams need to get to a final 8. Have to. In Canada, round of 16 would be celebrated.
Everyone should do that.
Celebrated. I'm not even.
Everyone.
This is my hardest thing to distinguish right now. What are reasonable expectations for Canada at this World Cup, considering the injuries, considering everything else?
I think.
Like, what does the country expect? It doesn't matter what I expect. What does the country expect?
Well, who are you talking about in the country? You're talking about like regular fans, or you're talking about
most regular fans? Because right now, a lot of casual people are tuning in, learning about these players, seeing this team play. Some people might be like, oh, I really like this play. Some people might like, I heard this team was really good.
Yep.
What am I seeing?
Yep.
I think there has to be a reality to the situation that people are getting what they expect. And I'm not sure what they expect.
I think it's about milestones, and I've said this before. Probably
Milestones?
Yeah. So hear me out. Is Canada at a World Cup that's been to 2 in '86 and 2022 has scored 1 goal.
Yeah.
They've never got a point. They never won a game. So it has to be about milestones. So even though I want them to beat Bosnia-Herzegovina, if they come away with a point, and even if they score, that's still a milestone and a step in the right direction. Of course, I want them to make it out the group. Of course, I want them to go deep in the tournament. But I think this World Cup is about winning a game, maybe even winning 2, being a top 2 in a group. These are all milestones because they've never done it before. This is, like, for me, progress. Obviously, you want to go as far as you can with that progression, but it's still progress.
Final word, Johnny?
I mean, winning a game is, they have to win games. I mean, this is,
have to,
you
but
know,
they haven't
come on,
done it.
guy.
They haven't done it.
You're at home, you got a home World Cup, you're playing in Toronto, you're playing in Vancouver, you got to win. And you got to get yourself through to a stage where...
Yeah, but winning the group is like, or getting out of the group is very easy in this group. Like, I think, like, winning actual
3
games...
points. Like,
you're
3
good,
points,
and you
decent
play,
goal
you play
differential.
Qatar, who respectfully is the 48th best team in this World
Good
Cup.
point.
Well, they're 44 to 48 for sure.
They're down there.
Yeah.
They're in the basement.
All right,
So,
let us know. Get involved in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever channel you're watching on. And let us know your expectations for not only Canada, but the United States and Mexico as well.